5 maintenance tricks that will change your aquarium forever. Aquarium maintenance can be scary, to the point that it keeps a lot of people away from this beautiful hobby, and is definitely competing with algae as the #1 reason why we quit. So today, I want to show you how to change that forever. Many snails in this hobby are considered to be a pest because they reproduce so fast and can take over your aquarium in no time. Personally, I have experience with one specific type, the bladder snails, and today my advice is don't fear them. These snails can actually save your aquarium, and I'm going to prove it to you. First, it's true that bladder snails reproduce at an incredible speed. They can even reproduce without needing a male and female. Any of them can take each other's role, and one single snail can produce about 40 eggs at a time, which is why they take over so quickly. But here's what is really cool about them from a maintenance perspective. They are free algae eaters. Because of the way they reproduce and the fact that they get introduced for free when you buy new plants, you are getting a cleanup crew completely for free, and they reproduce according to the amount of food in the tank. So if your aquascape doesn't have an algae problem, but you still see their population exploding, it means you are overfeeding and they are eating the excess food. If it wasn't for them, your aquarium would be full of algae, caused by the leftover food rotting in the corners. The same thing happens with algae. If your tank is full of it, they will reproduce accordingly to get that algae under control for you. Once you stabilize your feeding or solve whatever is causing the algae, their population will start to reduce rapidly on its own. They don't have a long lifespan, and your fish and shrimp would naturally eat the eggs and the new smaller snails. So while your algae problems aren't solved yet, they will keep your planted tank clean. And once you get things under control, they disappear pretty quickly. Really, what more could we ask for in a maintenance tool? And here's my proof. This was one of my aquariums before the bladder snails, and this is the same tank just 1 week after they got to work. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you know that I created this tool myself. It's a very special vacuum that lets you clean your substrate without worrying about your aquarium running out of water, because it doesn't remove any water at all. While it's great for general cleaning, in this video, I want to focus on using this tool as a high-level way to control algae. When we have a persistent algae problem and can't figure out the root cause, we usually end up manually removing it as a permanent step in our maintenance. That takes up so much time and can make this hobby feel very tedious. I tried using bristle brushes before, and while they work pretty good for green hair algae, they are not so good with brown algae. Brown algae is so soft that it just breaks into tiny pieces if you try to wrap it around the bristles, and then it just spreads farther around your aquascape. That's why I started using my vacuum for it instead, and the results are incredible. For almost every type of algae you'll find, it is amazing for green algae. You can clear a small tank in seconds, and it also does an incredible job with brown algae. It doesn't break it into small pieces at all. If you want to see if this is right for you, this month is a very unique time to do that. Only in May, we are releasing 3 new colors that will be available this month and then never again. If you want to get one of these limited versions right now, I've put a link in the video description for you. It has absolutely changed how I handle my weekly maintenance, making it faster and much less frustrating to keep my tanks looking great. If you guys are enjoying the video, remember to like and subscribe for more weekly videos to help you in your aquarium journey. A lot of people spend way too much time using complex testing kits to measure GH and KH every single week. But there is a tool that can save you so much effort. I've been using a TDS meter for years to know exactly how much minerals to add back after a water change, and it has worked incredibly well for me. Instead of doing those really long tests where you have to take water from the aquarium, add a few drops of different chemicals and wait until it gives you a result, a TDS meter gives you a pretty accurate number instantly that you can use as your primary reference point. In my experience, keeping your TDS between 120 and 160 right after a water change will work 99% of the time for any aquarium. You only really need to pull out the GH and KH kits when you notice something is wrong, or if your fish are acting strange. For your regular maintenance, the TDS meter is a huge advantage because it tells you in 2 seconds if your water is the ideal range for your aquascape. It has saved me so much time over the years by not having to play chemist every time I do a water change on my planted tanks. If you want to make your own maintenance routine faster and less tedious, this is a small investment that changes how you manage your water parameters forever. It's all about finding a more efficient workflow so you can spend more time enjoying the view instead of staring at test tubes. If you use a siphon rather than a water pump for your water changes, I'm sure you are going to find this very useful. Right now, every time you need to start a siphon, you might be putting one end of the hose in the water and then using your mouth to suck on the other side to get the flow moving. You should do that no more, as there are much cleaner and more professional ways to get the job done. Grab that same hose and submerge it entirely in your aquarium until you see that the hose is completely full of water with no air bubbles left inside. Then, plug the side of the hose that is underwater using your thumb and slowly pull the other end towards your bucket or sink. You have to make sure you do not remove your thumb from the end and that you do not pull that end of the hose out of the water. Once the outside end is positioned over your bucket or sink, simply take your thumb off the end while keeping it submerged in the aquascape. The water that is already trapped in the hose will fall down because of gravity, and that will start the siphon for you automatically. Another way to do it, which is easier in my opinion, is by using a hose that has 2 tabs or valves, one on each side. You close one tab and fill up the entire hose with tap water from the other side until it is full. Then, you place the open side into the planted tank, and once you open the tab on the other end, the siphon will start immediately. You can even keep some of the aquarium water inside the hose for your next water change by closing the tabs, which allows you to repeat the process even faster next time. This eliminates the need to ever put a dirty hose near your mouth again and makes the start of your maintenance routine much more controlled. This is a technique that you can use for your regular maintenance and also when you are planting a brand new aquascape. It works really well when you are planting with your aquarium already full of water, which is why it is such an important part of a long-term maintenance routine. A big part of keeping any planted tank looking its best is trimming, because stem plants can grow fast and take over a tank in less than a month. When we trim those plants, we don't want to throw the cuttings away, since those tops are the most beautiful and healthy parts of the plant. That's why replanting those trimmings is an important step on our routine. But I remember when I started in this hobby, I had a really hard time getting my plants to stay down. They always wanted to float right back up to the surface, and the problem was simply the way I was using my tweezers. If you have that same problem, I will tell you exactly how to solve it by avoiding 2 specific mistakes. The first thing is that right after sticking the plant into the substrate, you do not want to let your tweezers open all the way. You should only let them open just enough to let go of the stem. If you open them fully, it creates a kind of crater or air bubble under the substrate that forces the plant to float up. The second thing you want to avoid is pulling your tweezers straight up in an upward motion, because they tend to get caught in the leaves and pull the whole plant out with them. Instead, what you want to do is move your tweezers out sideways. You go in straight down, but you remove the tool by sliding it towards the side. It sounds simple, but I promise it works. And it is the only way I do it to ensure my plants stay exactly where I put them. If you guys have any maintenance tricks of your own that you would like to share, please leave them in the comments. I would love to read them.